I'll break down the playbook step by step, and I'm going to make it very simple and basic because building wealth really is not rocket science. You don't have to be a genius, but you have to be able to, number one, invest in your financial education and be willing to make sacrifice. If you can do those two things, you have the ability to build wealth, especially if you're in a first world country. Number one, he's got to earn money. How do you earn money? Doesn't matter. Assuming it's legal. Okay. If it's illegal, don't tell me about it. But you can make money from your job, make money from your business, make money from side hustles. I don't care. You got to just start making some money. Number two is when you make money, don't spend all your money. And now, when you don't spend all your money, the reason why this is difficult is because most people assume that if I have $1,000 in my pocket, I can buy a $1,000 TV. No, you got to stop spending all your money. The more you keep, the wealthier you'll become, because then number three, you take the money, don't spend. You buy assets, not liabilities. So a liability is something that I buy that takes away my money. Your car is a liability. Your clothes are your liabilities. Your vacations are liabilities. Your home is a liability. Every time I say that, this is going to make people angry. So let me explain what I mean. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. So when I say your vacation is a liability, this is the first thing that really gets people upset because they say, no, Jaspreet, when I went on vacation, it was a way for me to relax and recharge so I can make more money. Sure. But how much did the trip from Cancun make you? Cost me $6,000. Okay. Did Cancun put any money back in your bank account? No, but if Cancun is not direct depositing money in your bank account, it is a liability. I'm not saying don't spend on it, but you got to understand the difference between an asset and a liability. That way you can have more assets to buy more liabilities. The second thing is I say your home is a liability. And the reason why is because I got started investing in real estate during the 2008 real estate crash. And I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And Metro Detroit.
No way. I grew up in Livonia.
No way.
Like 20 minutes from you.
Oh, there you go. Our office is downtown Detroit. So you remember then Detroit was hit extremely hard. Livonia was hit very hard by the 2008 crash. Homes in Livonia were selling for 80% off of what they were selling for before.
Crazy.
It was crazy. And prior to that, everybody assumed home values only go up. The reason why everybody says your home is an asset is because number one, you're a realtor, and I'll tell you this because I was a realtor, you're trained as a realtor to say your home is the biggest investment you're going to make. And when you think your home is the biggest investment you're going to make, guess what? Oh, well, if I'm going to be able to pass down this home to my kids, maybe I should buy a little bit bigger. Maybe I should buy a little bit nicer because, I'm going to build wealth with this home. I'm going to pay it off and I'm going to have this equity in my home. Then what happens is you move into the home. You want to upgrade the kitchen. You want to finish the basement, right? You want to have a nice man cave in the basement. And then a few years later, something's going to happen to the bathroom. Now you want to upgrade the bathroom. It turns into a money pit. So now you're paying every year to maintain the home. You're paying every few years to upgrade the home. You got to pay for the property taxes. You got to pay for the insurance. But at least your home is going up in value, right? Maybe. It only really matters when it comes time for you to sell. Because if it comes time for you to sell and you can't sell it for how much you bought it for, which is what has happened in the past, then it's not, you're losing money. And even if it is worth more than what you bought it for, that means you have to sell your home to actually make any money. So that's why I want you to think of your home as a liability. Even if you financially have it as an asset because there's equity in your home, whatever. Think of it like a liability because those dollars that you're putting into your home for your maintenance, for your upgrades, for your taxes, for your insurance, for your mortgage, you're not getting any of that money back until it comes time for you to sell. And there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to sell it for a profit. And if you say, but Jaspreet, I can refinance money out of the home. You got to pay that money back plus interest. Okay, so if you're going to have to use debt to use your own money, I don't like that idea. So that's why I like to look at these things like liabilities. And instead of spending all my money here, I would rather spend my money on something that's actually going to make me money. What are real assets? This might be your own business. This might be stocks. This might be real estate. Now you might say, well, Jaspreet, the stock market can crash. You might not make money in real estate. You might see your business fail. Sure. But what was my mindset going in to buy these assets? When I invest in a business, in a stock or real estate, I'm buying it with the sole purpose of making money. When I go and buy a home to live in, I'm buying it to make memories, to live in. I'm buying it for the experience, not for the financial reasons. When I go out and buy a rental property, I'm buying it. That way the cash flow, the rental income can pay for the expenses and put some money in my pocket. When I buy stocks, I'm buying it because I believe that this is going to go up in value or it's going to pay me dividends, meaning cash. Literally deposit cash into my bank account every 3 months because some companies pay dividends. It's a very different mindset. And you're going to screw up with this. Sometimes these assets are going to lose you money. It's a part of the process, okay? You are going to lose money at some point. Every good investor does. But that's also how you learn. And that's what's going to allow you to make even more money if you continue investing. So now, step number 1, make money. Step number 2, don't spend all your money. Step number 3, buy more assets than liabilities. A simple rule of thumb here is if you're paying $500 a month for your car, you better be paying at least $500 a month for your investments. Step number 4, when you start making your money from your investments, reinvest the cash flow. So let's say now you start putting some money into stocks, into real estate, and you start making some money. Well, the first thing that can be very exciting to do is, oh my God, I'm making some money. Let me go buy a new vacation. Let me go buy a new car. Let me go buy some new shoes. What I want you to do now is take the money that your money made you and buy more of that asset. And the goal right now is to stack your assets. When you're trying to build wealth, you got to start by stacking the assets. That way you can build your wealth first, because I want you to make yourself rich before you make Gucci rich, before you make Louis Vuitton rich, before you make everybody else rich. Make yourself rich first.
There's a lot of joy that comes from that financial discipline too, because of course you want to increase your lifestyle as you make more money. But if you apply that discipline, the delayed gratification is much more satisfying.
It is once you get to that.
And I don't always follow this, like I'm preaching right now. You know, I've definitely invested in my lifestyle a lot over the years that I do believe has, returned back to me, and the connections that I build and like lots of different things. But continue.
I am a big believer of make yourself rich before you make everybody else rich, because that's going to lay the foundation for the rest of your life. I call it a decade of sacrifice. That if you're willing to spend less and earn more so you can invest like crazy, the rest of your life, you can now spend more money and not have to worry about the price tag, because now you have the investments and the assets to pay for it. And that's why you're from Livonia, right? In Michigan, we get snow. And if you ever built a snowman before, you start off with this little pile of snow, right? And then you put it on the ground and you start rolling it. In the beginning, you're not seeing any progress because you want to build this big ball of snow. But in the beginning, you don't see anything. But if you keep rolling, it's going to get bigger and bigger. And if you keep rolling, it gets bigger faster. Like every time you turn it, it gets even bigger. That's how your wealth works. It's called the compound effect. That in the beginning, you start saving and investing, you see no returns. Right? A 10% return on $1,000 is $100. It's nothing. But a 10% return on $100,000 is $10,000. And a 10% return on $1 million is $100,000. See, it's the same return, it's the same percentage, but the amount of dollars you can get as you invest more money is a whole lot more. And that's why in the beginning, I say you got to be aggressive. You got to spend less, earn more, invest more. When your investments make you money, reinvest it. Just keep dumping it in, because for that beginning, you got to get aggressive for you to build that big wealth pile. So we talked about number 1, earn money. Number 2, don't spend all your money. Number 3 is you buy more assets than liabilities. Number 4, when your assets make money, buy more assets. Number 5, figure out how you can make more money. And the reason why I say this is because what ends up happening, I went down this, is you start investing your money and you realize, whoa, I can make money without me having to do this thing. Like I can make money. My investments can make me money, and I can be out on the beach. I can be out running my business. I can be out doing whatever. And I'm still making some money. I want to own more investments. And so now the first thing that I did was I started spending less money, because if I spend less money, I have more money to invest, which is fine in the beginning. And I went to an extreme. Like I stopped spending money on everything you can imagine. I mean, I was really cutting back on everything that I could. But there's a limit to how many pennies you can squeeze out of your paycheck, or how much money you're making. Like there's really a limited pie. Eventually, you won't be able to squeeze more pennies out. And that's when I realized that, wait, if I earn more money, now I can also have more money to invest. And if I'm working to earn more money, there's no limit now to how much money I can make, because there's a limit to how many pennies I can squeeze out of my paycheck, but there's no limit to how big I can grow my paycheck. And this is where now understanding what are the different ways that I can earn money. If I'm working a job, maybe that means I see if I can get a raise, I get a bonus. Maybe I work to get a promotion. If I can't do it in this job, maybe I got to get a new career. Maybe I have to go get a certificate. Maybe I have to go and go back to school. Maybe I have to go and get a second job. Maybe I have to go and do something else. Yes, it requires more work in the beginning especially, but you can change the trajectory of your career. Maybe that means you start a side hustle. Maybe that means you start a business. Maybe that means you invest more in your business, right? I mean, there's so many ways to go about doing it, but now it's really diverting some attention and energy and focus and maybe even money on how you can earn more money so you can buy more assets, not liabilities. And when you do that, that's going to allow you to build more wealth. Now, the thing that I like to mention about this is have a system that allows you to grow your investments with how much money you're making, that allows you to grow your savings with how much money you're making, but also allows you to grow your spending with how much money you're making. So a simple way to kind of look about this is one of the things I talk about is a 75-15-10 plan, which says for every dollar that you earn, 75 cents is the maximum that you can spend, 15 cents is the minimum that you're investing, 10 cents is the minimum that you're saving. Now, what happens is if you're making $5,000, you know that there's a limited amount of money that you can spend. If you make $50,000, you can spend more, but you're still investing your money more. You're still saving your money more. That way, hey, you want to go out and buy more nice stuff? Cool, you can, but you're also investing at the same time. Because at the key, right, the goal is just to buy more assets. It doesn't mean that you can't buy some nice things, but just make sure you're also prioritizing the assets. Make yourself rich before you prioritize making BMW, Louis Vuitton, and everybody else rich.